Hi everybody, this is Avrohom Czapnik from the Jewish Learning Exchange in Los Angeles. I hope you and yours are well. This week's Torah portion is a double portion again, Behar and Bechukosai, the final two portions in Chumash Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. And at the end of the reading, we will say, Chazak, Chazak, V'nis Chazek. We will stand and say, the Almighty should strengthen us, that we should complete more books of Torah as well. So, in the laws of Behar-Bechukosai, one of the things mentioned is twice the words, you shouldn't aggrieve your fellow. And there was no extra words in the Torah, so the Torah is always trying to teach us something. And if something is repeated, there's a lesson there. And our sages tell us that the aggrieving can take place in two different ways. Number one, you could aggrieve somebody financially, you take advantage of them financially. And the other one is verbally, where you say things that are hurtful. And both are separate prohibitions in the Torah. The great sage, the Chavetz Chaim, had a store, and one time one of his customers purchased something and left it on the counter. The Chavetz Chaim didn't know who the person was. So the Chavetz Chaim went beyond the letter of the law, and he started giving out free samples of that item for anybody who came in. And the idea being that hopefully he paid back the man who lost the item that he bought. But when it comes to not aggrieving somebody, which one is worse? Is it worse to aggrieve somebody financially? They're both prohibited, or is it worse to aggrieve somebody verbally? And our sages teach us verbally is worse, because financially you can make it up to them, you can pay them back the money. But verbally the damage could be very great. And I must tell you that the Almighty loves all of you, because as I was preparing this lecture, I visited a wonderful Orthodox Jewish school in the neighborhood, Beis Yaakov, and on the walls there were some very important lines that are relevant to our discussion, which I'll get to in a minute. But first I want to quote a medrash. The Oral Torah tells us that Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel had a very faithful servant, and he asked him, can you go buy me some good food? And he came back and he brought some delicious kosher meat tongue. And Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel said, good choice. Then the next day, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel asked him, can you buy me some bad food? And the faithful servant went out and came back and brought tongue. And Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel was perplexed. I don't get it. Why did you buy me for good food tongue and for bad food tongue? And he answered, because the tongue is a very powerful thing. Used properly, it can be very, very good. But God forbid, used incorrectly, it can be very, very bad. So, one of the posters that I saw in Beis Yaakov, which was very impressive, that this is what, in the girls' cafeteria, that this is what they had on the wall. It says, words can hurt or heal, which is a quotation from Proverbs. Choose yours with kindness. Here's another quote. The Talmud says, just as a person's face differs from another's, so too their thinking differ. And therefore, the poster said, respect each person's unique perspective. Very beautiful ideas, very beautiful ideas. There was a poor family that had a cherished, beautiful bowl that they cherished. And one person took it down one time and dropped it, and it broke. And instead of getting upset at the person, the mother was calm. And she didn't get upset about the circumstances. And everyone said to her, why aren't you upset about this? And she said something very profound. She said, I save my tears for things that are really important. Sometimes we get upset about little things, and it's not worth it. Save the tears for what's important. Very, very beautiful idea. And again, we have to be super careful about our words and how people will hear them, and also the tone that we use when we say the words that we're saying. Are we looking at the other person's perspective? Even if we're right, that doesn't give us a right to let loose. Some other quotes from the posters there. Just one good word could turn around someone's day. Another one is be the reason someone feels welcome today. If the power of a negative thought and a negative word or a criticism or a harsh remark or even, quote, a joke can be so damaging, how much does a good word do? And that's something we should be inspired by. Finding words to compliment, find something good, nice to say about somebody else. And it can really make a difference in a person's life and change their perspective about themselves and about what they can accomplish. So the Torah teaches us in Behar-Bechukosai some important ideas. Yes, be honest in your business dealings. Don't aggrieve somebody financially, but also be very careful with your words. And hopefully we'll be not only careful with the words, not to say something negative, but say something positive to encourage somebody, to lift them up, and to really make a difference in their lives. Have a great Shabbos.